Okay, welcome to the live webinar. This is Bruce at Bookmap, and we're going to go through live forward-looking analysis here, real time. It matches with our education, so you guys can put our education to the test in the live market. We're going to go through looking at order flow and applying that to many different trading styles in here. Let's jump right into it. We had some great data this morning with CPI and a lot of volatility. General disclosure: all Bookmap Limited materials, information, and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. The risk disclosure: trading futures, equities, and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. All right, so let's jump in here and see what's going on. We had the CPI data earlier today, and look at the volatility in here. So do you think the markets are pretty sensitive to the inflation data and interest rates? Well, here's your answer. CPI was more than anticipated at the year over year, and but the core was in line, is what it looks like here to me. The markets don't know what to do here, is really kind of what it looks like. Is a kind of conundrum between the employment data and the inflation data. Very kind of strange environment, but let's go through what the market thinks of it in order flow here. That's what we're here for. We're going to read the participants and apply their behavior to where price might go next. Okay, so we're looking at stops and icebergs on here. I'm going to actually take the I'm going to leave it on because I want to go through the data here on the release, and you can see the drop immediately. All right, so I think a trader reached out to me earlier today, Humphrey. I don't know if you're in here. He was asking about well, what, I need all these special add-ons in Bookmap, and like I just want to say, like, well, look at just the core features here in Bookmap and look how much you can gain from this information. Is there any question in here where buyers met sellers? Okay, it's right here. Look what insight. I mean, it's just hitting you over the head here. All right, so it is right here. Okay, right in here. These are sellers, aggressive sellers. These are buyers here. Look where price went. It went straight down to it. Where did it bounce? Right from it, out of it. Okay, this is how you can put these pieces together. All right, so let's just zoom out a little bit now. Look at the liquidity before the event. Look how these guys stayed in here no matter what. No matter what, they stayed in the order book here. Look at how they take, like, this is like I don't know, like a 3 minutes before the event. So they start pulling liquidity. A lot of traders start pulling their liquidity. They don't know what the numbers are. They want to stay away from the volatility. Does this help you? Is this clear? Look how clear it is. I mean, they stayed in the order book. They got filled. All right, so now what happened after that? Price went up. Price went up into looking for where the exchange between sellers or buyers, aggressive buyers meeting sellers. Okay, well, they met some in here, right in here. Is that clear? Humphrey, I don't know if you're on this call. I hope so, because I'm just like showing the core features with Bookmap, the heat map, understanding limit, buy and sell orders where they're providing supply and demand, and the context between the aggressive buyers and sellers This is basically your demand hitting the supply here. This is like no different than your curves that you see in economics 101, that you know, here's your supply curve like this. Here it's more like this. Here's your supply curve, supply. Here's your demand curve. This is the intersection between it. This is the same thing. Okay, so there it is, and there it is in front of us. We know what happened here. Other software, you know, just to, you know, to, it sounds like a plug, but God, I mean, I can't. Here it is in front of us. What more kind of clarity do you want? This is extremely helpful. And we have these other add-ons here that we can get more insight from to help even further. But you know, it's here in the core Bookmap. Look at this. Look at the demand, or I'm sorry, the supply up here. Look at this. Look at, here's an algo chasing after the market here, pushing it down as well. Okay, now this is like supply here as well. They actually got filled here. So is this a spoof? Now just understand this concept in here. This is supply in here. Limit sell orders. We can know precisely how many here. 94 here. Okay, and then it went down to 78. You can see 94 again. 90 or 62 down here. Okay, to me, you know, I'm not really sure what's going on in here. I see that it looks like they got filled here, right? So probably this guy's chasing. It's not. I wouldn't say that this is spoofing. Okay, I would say that he got filled. Like he wanted to be a seller. He was a seller here. Okay, so there it is. Again, we can understand this kind of behavior in here. We visualize it. Bookmap is excellent at visualizing this. So if you want that kind of information and put this into a plan, maybe you know, like understanding this up in here, this supply up in here, and this guy chasing, that maybe you're just, now you're looking for pullbacks. Maybe it's a low volume node. Put this together with your low volume nodes if you're a volume profile trader. Great, perfect. Then you got it. Now, does more sellers come in? Great. I'd be looking for it to come down to here. Okay, it didn't. Because why? These guys put more demand into the market, and they actually transacted right here. Okay, we should get a bounce out of that area. We do. Okay, it's kind of short-lived, and it trades back down into more demand in here and here. Okay, all the way down into these areas in here, and it continued on. All right, now watch this though. At a certain point, all of this demand in here is going to get filled, and we're going to find aggressors come in on the other side, and they're going to go in and test and meet supply on the other side. Here it is right in here. You can see that heat map, and here it is up in here in these areas here. Okay, I hope this is helpful for you guys. Take the rest of the day off. 25 points, excellent. Way to go. Good morning, Alan. Nice to see you in here. And let's see other guys on Discord. So let's see. I think I'm not in the chat here. I'm sorry about that. Hold on, hold tight. All markets. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah, guys, the Discord chat is in all markets right now. It's not aligned with the same name as Advanced Webinar. All right, but if Humphrey wants to get back to me and you have questions in here, because I'm just demoing the core features in here we've had for a long time in Bookmap. Now we have other, I mean, God, I mean, look at how good that looks. Anyway, let's go over another feature, a new feature that we've had in Bookmap called Tradermap Pro. Okay, what it does, now this works with market by order data. And what it does is filter the heat map even more by showing only large orders. Okay, so let's take a look at that. It's here, and let's zoom out a little bit. And let's look at this area here, and we're looking at candlesticks overlaid on it. Okay, well, here it is right in here. Obviously, clearly larger players down here. Okay, what about, this is 10 lots here. It's either 10 or greater at this area. What about 100? Let's look at 100. Let's zoom out. Look at this. Look at this map here, and understand like what's going on in here. And I don't have, do I have the CPI data? Yes, I do. Yeah. The just massive spreads, because it's show me where a 100 lot trader or greater is trading. They're here. Okay, we know for a fact these are larger players. Okay, so, and they're way up here on the offer. They come back down and get filled a little bit in here on the bid, on the offer, I'm sorry, and then they come in here and get filled a little bit too. Look at their behavior in here. They get filled a little bit in here, pull it back up. Get filled a little bit in here, keep it in here, and actually lower it in here. Now, are these the same players or not? It doesn't matter. We can understand the behavior in here. We can start to look at that behavior and maybe extrapolate that it's the same player. But what we do know is they certainly got filled here on the bid. And now they're getting filled on the offer. They're nibbling away here at some of these areas in here. And we know they're getting filled because here's their behavior. Here's the limit sell orders in here. Let's just zoom in. How many are here? It's got to be 100 or greater, right? Uh, 131. Okay. Did it transact? Yeah, it did right here. Okay. Here's another 100 lot. Did it get filled? Not all of it. Okay. No, I'm sorry. Maybe it did. No, it didn't. It certainly didn't. Okay. Here's the number of transactions right here. Okay, in the CVP, chart range volume profile. Only 7 got filled there. Okay. So let's see what kind of effect that had on price. Well, price just went right back up. Okay, so this guy's way up here, right? But you can see how they're nibbling into these positions here. You know, providing some, getting filled a bit, pulling away, adding to their trade, pulling away. And we can start to look at, you know, where, look at the behavior in here. Now they're getting filled in here a lot. Okay, this is where you can look for it to drop to the next level down here, 4,100. Okay, and it didn't. They're still down here. They're still down here. But now they're here on the offer up in these areas up in here. Okay, so anyway, we can start to understand the behavior of some of these larger players here now. Now this is an add-on, I just want to show the heat map though with this add-on in here. We can go back and we can take a look at the core regular bookmap version, and we can even take off the stops and icebergs on chart here, and we can go back to CVD. Okay, make it real simple here. Okay, this is with Bookmap Global version, $49 a month. Okay, and then if you want to connect and look at the stock indexes here from Rhythmic, it's $40 a month. All right, so for 90 bucks a month, you're up and running, looking at this information here within Bookmap. All right, sorry guys, I'm on a rant. I just wanted to answer some of these questions because it's a good question that Humphrey had about, like, well, I'm looking at all these add-ons and like, well, I have to purchase all these add-ons. No, I mean, look, this is the core version of Bookmap, and it's extremely insightful. You have a layer of transparency here. Like, did they get filled up here? Yeah, they did. Look at the retest right here. This is what we always look at. Okay, so here's the scenario up here. These guys got filled up here. Market pulls away. It comes back up, retests up here, and nothing trades up here. Okay, or very little trades back up here at 41.70. We're going to find sellers on the other side in here. Where are they going to go? Well, we look at some of these areas in the market structure and combine that also with high liquidity. So it came down to this liquidity that stayed in the order book down here. Okay, this understanding this here being like a double top. Okay, after a big move up, a double top, and there's no trading, it exhausts out here on the retest. This is giving good insight here. All right, so we look for those sellers. Do they come in? Yes. Do they come in here again? Yes, even at a lower level. Great. We can look for the move back down, even into where it might have initiated down in here. Okay. So anyway, guys, I just want to go through some of these core features in Bookmap and what you can gain from it, understanding this relationship between supply and demand. Okay, this is the behavior. This is what the auction is all about here. Okay, so let me get to the questions. I'm learning from Scott about ranting. Anyway, Scott will be here on Thursday. JTrader tomorrow with stocks. Yeah, happy CPI day, Alan, to you as well. Let's see here. We're going to need all the supercomputers in the world. Yeah, no, I do want to go over another feature in here as well. But we'll just start with these core features in Bookmap and what you can gain from that. Please explain the correlation between the ES and Crude. Okay, Anshul, it's kind of a weird correlation, but okay, what is? Let me get an answer from you. What is crude oil? Okay, what kind of instrument is that? What kind of market is that? Correlation between crude and the stock index is the ES. It's a commodity, exactly, Alan. All right, so commodity costs money, right? You need it. It's energy, and in this case, it's a commodity that basically runs the economy. All right, so you know, basically. The correlation here is if oil is pretty cheap, that means its stock indexes should do pretty well. Okay, that if commodities are cheap, like they're going to start to what would you do if you're a company? Invest, buy it, if you can, use it, get as much as you can. And expand, right? So what if crude is really really expensive? Well, you're going to kind of pull back, right? You're not going to do that. So you're not going to expand. Okay, maybe you put your money in a safe place. Maybe you want gain some interest on it. Put it into a treasury notes or something like this. Okay, can you kind of see and shift, and see what's going on in here with these correlations? Okay, and it's a really good, Anshul, it's a great question in here, and answering these questions about correlated markets is really a key, because this is about value, one thing compared to another. Okay, now the correlation that's even better would be the dollar index or maybe the euro dollar. Compared to crude oil. All right, so and also the stock indexes. Okay, that's going to be a really good one. Why do you guys think? Anshul, what do you think? Alan, you're on it here. We'll just keep it really simple in here. Alan, what are you saying in here? If you don't close out your contract, yeah, you'll have that oil delivered. Yeah, exactly. And don't put my address in there. That's right. Foreign exchange. Well, yeah, I mean, foreign exchange is, well, the interesting thing about the currency futures and or forex is it is always comparing one thing to another. It is always a pairs trade, always. euro versus dollar, dollar versus yen, whatever it might be. Okay, I mean, we're really talking about the basics here. And um, yeah, Alan is right. Don't put my address in. I'm not taking delivery of barrels of crude oil. The Okay, so and it's a roundabout way to get to your answer your question, Anshul. Here's the gist of it. Okay, stock indexes. Okay, and dollar. All right, so we'll start with that one. And if people are buying stock in here, like the dollar is basically like a safe haven. Okay, they're going to take their money out of dollars and put it into the stock market. If and that's a risk on environment. Okay, and these are very general, guys. Just keep that in mind. Okay, these correlations change and shift all the time. Now, if you are looking at a risk off environment, people are taking their money out of the stock market and putting it into cash. Okay, you would do the same thing. You're probably doing the same thing maybe if you're kind of actively hedging your 401k, for example. Okay, maybe you have a dollar index and you're going to buy a little bit more of that, pull it out of the stock indexes. Maybe you put it into an ETF on bonds, right? Okay, just keep these things really simple in here. Because it's you're understanding the correlations in here. It's one thing versus another, and what has value and what doesn't have value. All right. So if people, and you'll see the correlations here. And boy, if you want to change, if you want to trade them on very short term, you can make a killing here by understanding correlations of, like, here's the stock market dropping. Okay, but let's take a quick look over here. In fact, here, I'm just going to pop this out, the euro dollar. Okay, let's take a look at the euro dollar here, and I'm going to do this. Okay, there we go. Okay, and then I'm going to use this new feature. I don't use this feature very often here, to synchronize charts. All right, right here, and we're gonna be able to sync the charts here. All right, so now this is again we've had this functionality forever in Bookmap using this synchronize chart tool. Okay, so look, stock index is going down. Okay, so now if the stocks are going down, the dollar should have some strength. Does it have strength right now? No, euro dollar's up a little bit, right? Okay, well, what's leading here? We don't really know. I would think, though, that you're going to see this euro dollar drop here pretty hard right now. That's an opportunity right here. Right here. Okay, at 0779. There you go. Understand? Okay, stock indexes are dropping, right? The dollar index has not dropped yet. Or I'm sorry, it's not the dollar index, it's the euro dollar. Okay, but the dollar index is like 60% euro. All right, so there is, I mean, they're pretty, it's a nice correlation in here. All right, so there you go. Now, Anshul, let's get back to your question. Okay, so now, what do you think crude oil is doing right now? Okay, it's a commodity, right? Do you think people are buying crude oil right now? They actually might be right now, but like after this drop. No, they wouldn't be buying it. They'd be selling it. Okay, Alan, yeah, you're spot on with the ZN, the ZB, the notes, the bonds, etc. And look at this huge drop, guys. I mean, it sickens me sickens is a little harsh. I hate missing these moves in here. We're here for the live analysis and to look for opportunities in the order flow. We're just doing it a little bit backwards in here. We're doing it through correlations right now, and we just went through an example of this trading the euro dollar here compared to the stocks. All right, so but let's take a look at crude now too. All right, so I have it up. No, maybe I don't. Do I have it? Yes, I do. Okay, hold on. Okay, and let's put it over here and look at the ES. Okay, all right. So, and now let's correlate these charts. Synchronize these charts. Okay, so yeah, okay, so a little more volatile in here, right? People are kind of like, maybe crude is kind of leading here, or it's just more volatile. Okay, so now look, stock indexes are selling off again. Crude oil hasn't sold off yet. Then it should. I'd look for maybe crude to come down to this kind of 08 or 7 liquidity down here. Okay, let's see if it does. So look, I don't know, and it's not a trade recommendation. You got to understand your correlations though. Who's leading? Who's following? Like I said, they kind of shift and change. Maybe the focus will be on crude. Maybe it'll be on the stock indexes. Right now, it's certainly on the dollar and the bonds, the interest rates. Okay, so let's see if we get the break here. Stock indexes went lower. This hasn't broken yet. Okay, looking for it to break. Right, to kind of catch up in terms of value here. We're talking about value again. All right, comparing one thing versus another in terms of value. Okay, now be careful here. Look at this, 41.50, the figure down here. Exchange happened between buyers and sellers at the figure. Okay, it's going a little bit lower though, and crude still hasn't caught up yet. Looking for crude to come to, and it should be a quick move. Down into this kind of 06 area right here. Okay. Now, are they accumulating crude here? No, not really. It hasn't dropped yet. Okay, this is where we got to be really careful with your correlations though, because here's why. It's starting to bounce right now. Here's why though. Okay, is because like we have to be very careful because we were down at this important figure in the stock indexes. The exchange is happening between buyers and sellers here. This high liquidity is filled. We see the transactions here already. All right, it went lower. Crude didn't go lower yet. All right, now if they start buying the stock indexes here, we're going to see a bounce in crude now. Okay, now watch crude come right back up into here. Okay, up into maybe 79.32. Look, see how they're buying the stock indexes. All right, this has actually been holding here, so it's a bit stronger. I would look for crude to come up here now, okay, to 32 or so. Okay, so again, you have to be kind of careful in here. We're reading a few different things into the stock indexes and the supply and demand in here, and then understanding the value here in crude. All right, so it's, boy, it would be great if this was just if crude does that, then the stock indexes do this. I mean, and just trade that all day long. But that's never going to happen. It's never going to be that easy ever. Well, not ever. Every now and then it will be. Because otherwise it would be a machine and everyone would make money on this, and it doesn't quite work that way. But understanding these in general, it almost always works, almost always, in kind of the bigger picture, because it's just the value between these instruments here. All right, it's just still chopping around in here. Let's just watch this here. Okay, stock index is going lower low here. Crude has not. Okay, crude has been kind of strong. This is tricky though. It really is, because of the figure here. Right now, stock indexes are dropping. Okay, we should see the drop now in crude. Okay, earlier, like if they were going to start buying stock indexes, we're looking for 32. You know, stock indexes are dropping pretty hard now. We see some supply in here in crude, right? Now, do buyers take them on? Nope. Nope. All right, let's see. If now I would look for an order flow event in here at 79.17. If I see sellers in here, I'm looking for it to drop. Maybe this kind of 04 area we were looking at earlier, or 06 area we were looking at earlier. Okay, maybe the figure, maybe 79 even down here. Maybe this liquidity down here. Okay, so there's your correlation. That's what we're looking for. Okay, stock indexes still dropping. Crude has not kept up yet. Looking for it. There you go. Okay, still looking for crude to drop. I don't know why they're buying it. Anshul, does this answer your question? Come on, Anshul, don't be shy. You got some part of it too. Okay, look, this is not a trading room. It's not a trade recommendation. It really isn't. But if you understand it, there you go. You'll practice this. Exactly. Beautifully said. Look at this, follow it, and develop an edge out of it. Practice this till you have an edge somehow. Okay, it might be 51%. It's still an edge, right? I think it's still going lower. I think it's going to come down to this liquidity here at 79, 78.90. Okay, it's again, guys, we're not calling trades in here. It's not a trade recommendation, but you can understand how powerful this is in here. All right, by starting to understand these correlated markets and order flow together. Okay. Another thing to kind of glean from this here is a few different things. You could either look for maybe quick moves here in crude oil. It might just all of a sudden just, a dump down here and very, very quickly into 78.90. Well, then you would have been prepared for it then, right? If you were looking for that, and you would have caught that move. The other thing to glean from this, though, is, and this is where the correlations can be tricky. It's not, 100% here, but not even close, right? But, you have to kind of see and look and wait for something that really stands out. All right, so for example, what else can we glean from this? All right, well, how much is crude moving compared to stock indexes? Well, I'm seeing actually a bit more strength here in crude than I am in the stock indexes. The stock indexes are selling off hard right now, really hard. There's our move, guys, into 78.90. All right, and that liquidity. Okay, now that's a high volume node here too. All right, let's take a look. What about stock indexes? Okay, well, do we get a bump out of here? Kind of went through a low volume node. How about it? Will it move back into this high volume node up here? Okay, well, crude might be prepared to, if it's going to bounce off of this as a high volume node and come back up to 79 here and retest 79. Okay, anyway, my previous point I wanted to get across here is like stock indexes are weaker than crude. This is what it looks like. We see this drop on stock indexes or S&P. We're not seeing the crude drop as much, or it was kind of going sideways. Okay, so if you start to see buyers come in stock indexes, you'd be looking also for crude to be ramping up to the upside as well. All right, so anyway, guys, this leads into nicely. I'm going to stop with the correlations at the moment here. I'm going to close them out, and it'll put it when I close them out like that. What that does is now look for crude to start to bounce here, right? Because look at the buying starting to come in a bit here on S&P. Okay, now you're gonna probably crude is back already. God, I gotta look at it. Sorry. Almost to 79, almost back to 79. Okay, but still looking for it. All right, so this segues nicely into another thing I wanted to cover today. Okay, all sorts of things we're covering today. Anshul, explain stops and icebergs. I'm gonna maybe get to that. Maybe next time, Anshul. Let me go over. I want to go over Market Pulse right now. All right, and the Market Pulse tool here. Now, Humphrey, this is a new add-on. It is pretty incredible add-on, and it's actually quite cheap right now as well. But I'm not trying to sell you an add-on. I'm trying to give you an edge in the markets here. That's what I want to cover. Okay, you can go with your heat map and your volume dots in here. If you want to look at some other things in here like stops and icebergs or this Market Pulse tool, great. Whatever works for you. All right, so let's go over this new tool in here. We've been showcasing it several times. Here's what I want to cover though. This one here for the ES is called volume pressure. This is what we showed last week or the last few weeks. We're going to start it up here, and it pops up on my screen right here. All right. Now let's. There's another one up here I have for the ES as well. Right here, there's a new algo in here. When you click on this right here, you can see there's multiple algos in here. This is fantastic, right? It's not just volume pressure we're looking at in the ES. We're going to look at price change now too. It's another algo. And let's open that one up. We'll hit play. Okay, it opens this one. All right, so and let's close this now. Now we can always right click on here and go right back to settings for that specific algo. All right, so it's loading here right now. And let's go over this algo here. In fact, I'm gonna close the volume pressure for a moment. Okay, just want to show that this volume pressure algo in here can work. Maybe we'll add it back in. It can work very well with price change. Okay, but let's just go over price change right now. Okay, and let's go to the settings. All right, and what is it showing here? All right, so very simply, there's a threshold here of 70. The volume is very low here, so you guys don't hear it pinging all the time. We have a training period in here. It's set at 5 minutes. What does this mean? It's very simple. It means that in 5 minute period of sliding data, okay, it's always a constant 5 minute period. As time moves forward, the arrow of time moves forward, that 5 minute period always stays the same though. It is always with the current market, the moment, and then the past 5 minutes. That's what it means. Okay, so now we're going to look for how much did price change within those 5 minutes. Okay, see how it's starting to become green here a little bit, and that's all it's doing here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, probably a real nice move in crude right now, I imagine, but let's take a quick peek. Yeah, there goes crude. Okay, so crude finally came, well, it almost came up to 79. Now it is. Yeah, see if we can get above this little level here in 79 on some volume as well, and probably come back up to here, this liquidity up here. All right, again, it's not a trade recommendation. We're just talking about you know, where price might go based on the information we're getting here. All right, so let's go back to the ES. All right, and then let's look at the price change in here. Okay, so how much does price move now? Now, you know, I'm still playing around with this tool as well. Right, the price change. This is not available right now. It will be later though. Okay, this week we're going to release it, and you'll be able to play around with it. All right, so look at this now. We're getting some pretty big movement on the price change. I don't see it going across that 70% though right now, that value. Okay, but look at this here. We're down here. We're getting this price change here on the sell side. Maybe if we see some exhaustion in here, we have high liquidity here at 41.20. There it goes, and through it. Now you can probably hear it pinging in YouTube, right? It's pinging, right? So there we go. Price change is extreme here. Okay, so now I'm looking for maybe exhaustion, and then for a move right back to maybe this liquidity up here at 41.18. Okay, because this is kind of like an ATR almost, or this is one way to look at it at least. There's a move for 41.18 right there. Okay, it's already done it. I'd be out, or you can still maybe you can hold for 41.20. But the way I'm looking at this tool in here is I'm looking for an extreme reading, then I'm looking for exhaustion, and I'm looking for a pullback in here. Okay, so good stuff. Right now, there's another way of reading this as well, and it was actually displaying that when we first started looking at it. Is you look for the price change here. You're looking for momentum, okay, to the downside. And if you see price change still going, and you see these big red dots in here, I would look for the continuation. Okay, what is it telling me? It's telling me that the price is changing rapidly, and there's momentum and volume behind it. Okay, now if it's trading into some of these areas of high liquidity though, I'm going to be very careful about that. Okay, I want to see them pull. If they pull that liquidity here, and I'm getting an extreme price change reading, and they're pulling liquidity in here, and there's like heavy selling in here, great. I'm looking for this to continue. Okay, now when we get down into this area here, and I don't see any selling in here, and I see price change start to pull back, I'm looking for a pullback in here, back up into more supply up here at 41.80. All right, so there's two different ways there to use this price change algo. Okay, and again, it was almost kind of like using ATR, that you're looking for it to extreme reading in the average true range, and then you're looking for a pullback from that average true range. It's not really the same thing, but the concept is similar. Does that make sense? Guys, lots of stuff here today. Look at this. Look at how volatile these markets are. Look at that sell-off. Okay, into all that liquidity, and not only did 41.18, that's just the beginning of it. It went to 20, and then it's way back up here. Okay, now look again here. Let's look at price change. Okay, this is really starting to, you know, show some significant change here. Now, again, in 5 minutes, it's moved a lot. That's what we're reading in here. That's what it's showing. All right, now let's align that with order flow in here. Okay, starting to trade up in here. I'd look for it to kind of trade up into this 30 area. And so this would be actually, you're looking for it to actually hit 30. So this is more of a momentum trade still. Understood? Okay, that this is still showing, we haven't gotten a reading out of it yet. It's not extreme. It's heading toward extreme though. Okay, so you could use it as a momentum tool as well. Let me get to more questions in here. if stocks fall, people have less money to drive around and take trips. Yeah, I mean they're basically like pulling back, pulling money out of the economy. That's true. I mean, if stocks fall, what, Alan? If stocks fall, what do you know? In general, over time, when stocks fall, what do companies usually do? Anshul, I'm holding you guys accountable. Let's hear it. What do you think? And I'm not looking. I mean, look, you can. I don't want to get into. I put you guys on the spot and say there's a right or wrong here, but like I'm just trying to get the discussion going. That's all I'm trying to do. So they begin to commit fraud. Nice, Mark. Yeah, no, they. Yeah, that's true too. Aloha Gold, they buy their shares back. Okay, in a especially in a if kind of it's a bullish market in general. Yeah, they'll buy back their shares as much as they can. But usually they'll if a company's not doing well, they're going to start laying people off. Okay, so if they start laying people off, like are people going to start? Are they going to be buying? You know, like Alan was saying, are people going to? Are they going to be taking trips? No. So is there going to be demand for crude oil? No. Okay. So these are really simple correlations to understand. It's just these are how markets work. Okay, it's not some math puzzle in here like the CPI, or I mean the CVD cross this and you have a negative that, and like no, we're talking about value between different instruments here. This makes up the market. Yeah, Alan, it's a good one. Like, people are going to, like Netflix. Is Netflix going to drop? Probably not. I mean, it will, but like, I'm sorry, it will drop some, but will it drop compared to, I don't know, something like Amazon or, some of the oil stocks? No, it won't. Why? Because people are going to hold on to it. It's like, well, $10 a month, I can do that, and I'm going to be at home doing nothing because maybe I'm not working. I can watch movies. I don't know if that logic makes sense, but like, that's something to take a look at as a study. Yeah, I'm not a Netflix fan either, Floyd. I don't get it, to be honest. I don't understand why their content is so valuable, but I just don't think their shows are that good. So that's all. Anyway, I don't want to start a debate on that one. That opens a can of worms. Okay, Anshul never got back to me. All right. Well, Anshul, if you want me to cover some of these things, like, I'm looking for feedback from you as well. Okay, that's how it works. All right, so here we go. Extreme reading on the price change again here. All right, momentum picking up though, right? Momentum. This is a momentum trade still. Okay, do we get exhaustion yet? So that was just a pullback, and we still have momentum here. Okay, look at this. Look at this, guys. Look at that. Where do you think it's going? Where do you think it's going? Here. Okay, and so what do you guys see here in terms of pattern, and what do you see in terms of supply and demand right here, right in here? There's your move. Okay, see how we had to look at that very, very quickly though. Yeah, Alan is going up. No, here's why. Look, we had our momentum move in here down into this liquidity here, right? We had a bit of a pullback. It's still a momentum move. Okay, we got down here and we saw buyers though. We saw buyers here. Look at this. See this little green line here? That's the best bid and nothing traded here. It totally exhausted out and we have some buyers in here already. We get more buyers. We're looking for it to come up to 41.20. Okay, take some off. It's not a trading plan here, but this is something to consider. It's not a trade recommendation either, but this is a pattern in here. It's a double bottom pattern, and we have order flow within that double bottom pattern, and we have this price change tool here giving us some insight. Now look at this move. Did this double bottom pattern hold? Yeah, it did. In fact, look where it retraced to, guys, to where that demand was previously here, or these transactions here went right to it. Okay, and we see some selling here, but not a lot, and look at the buyers come in on the other side. Okay, now where do you think crude is, guys? 79.50. Who wants to take a bet on 79.50? Or is it at 70? Maybe it dropped into something lower and now it's back at 79. Maybe that's where it is. I haven't looked at it yet. You guys tell me. Yeah, guys over in Discord are all over it here with your answers. You guys are spot on. Yep. Brother Chromatide, perfect, beautiful move. And yet even we got even more. Look at this one, Brother Chromatide. Look at this. Here's your sell-off. It's just probably a stop run as well. You have high liquidity here. Here's our pullback. We know that it was already pinging here on price movement, and we're getting the opposite now. So here's a kind of an ATR, right, and price change. Something to consider at least. So we got a lot of things in here. So we had the momentum move, the pullback, looking for momentum move again. Nope, we didn't get it. We got buyers. We can see the exchange in here between buyers and sellers here after a big stop run, I'm pretty sure. We got buyers in here. We're looking for 41.20. We got it. We got a pullback here. And we're not seeing many sellers. We have buyers here. Let me go through this. Okay, now this is hindsight, of course, but we do it in real time all the time. All right, so here is our double bottom pattern and change in order flow. Okay, we had the first off, we have the high liquidity here. Okay, we see the sellers in here. We saw the momentum move and the price change at the same time. We got the pullback. Okay, and then we came back down here and we had buyers. Right, is this buying in here? There's our order flow event. Okay, in the price action, the order flow is telling us that there's no sellers down here, not many. We look for buyers to come in and trade back up and to meet supply. We got a pullback here, back to this area here at where these buyers came in, we see some selling here. Okay, so this is a little tricky. We see some selling in here, but now we're making as soon as we see some of these buyers come in over here on this side, or you can even look in here, right? Once we start to see that in here, we're looking for at least a move back up to the high, or this liquidity up here, or this liquidity up here. All right, supply, and then this is our demand, or the green dots here. Okay, pushing that market higher. Okay, so the order flow event is, again, we had a double bottom pattern in here, but we also have this kind of pullback in here, and there's just not much selling. So it's almost like a triple bottom, or it's making price structure or price action shift in here too. Look at this, above the swing, so a higher high here. Okay, we get a pullback, and we have not only a higher high, the order flow is that we have traders up here, buyers. Look at the pullback in here. Do we see a lot of sellers like this kind of selling, like with the buyers here? No, we don't. Okay, so again, this adds to the trade here. We look for at least a retest back up into these areas here. Okay, and for that move, and look at the move continued here. This is really good stuff. Okay, look at this thing pinging now. Now it's still in momentum mode right now. We're looking for exhaustion. Okay, let's catch up to price action right now. Okay, still in momentum mode, guys, until we see something different. See? Okay, now we're looking for price change into high liquidity and the exchange between buyers and sellers and exhaustion. There's some exhaustion. All right, let's see if we get a move right back down to this liquidity here. It's still pinging. Looking for exhaustion, looking for the indicator to exhaust as well. Okay, it's not. It's still changing here. We're looking for this to stop pinging. Here, this is starting to look better because we have even more liquidity up here. This thing is still pinging though. There we go. Now it's starting to it's pretty close. It's right on the verge of pinging. Right? So it kind of keeps us away from it. Okay, now we're looking for exhaustion on the buy side here. Sellers to come in and then move this back down into these lower levels here. Okay, we didn't really get exhaustion here, so I don't like it. This is not aligned with all the things we're looking for. Okay, if we had no buyers up here, it would be better. Yeah, it's still pinging now. I know in Discord you can't hear it, which is kind of a pity. But the OBS software we're using, you can hear it over in YouTube, which is great. Bill, the difference between Bookmap and platform and Thinkorswim platform, it's a lot of these add-ons in here. You just can't get them over there. There's, basically the what we were talking about earlier, and Humphrey, good morning, Jack. I still need to reach out to you, Jack. I'm sorry, I didn't have a chance yesterday. I will though today. Yeah, please send me your email as well. All right, so oh God, yeah, we're talking about Thinkorswim. All right, so Humphrey, you can use that version if you like as well. Right, so just note that this is where you're not going to get rhythmic data, and you don't get rhythmic data in here. You won't be able to expand into market by order data, or you might. I think they offer full depth. Yeah, the Thinkorswim will offer full depth though, which is really important. Okay, so that would be the cheapest route to go of all. So you can do that. Okay, now if you want to experiment and see if some of these other things give you value, like some of the add-ons that we create in here, we're always developing, then you will need to go with the Bookmap desktop version. Okay, that's the big difference between the Thinkorswim and the desktop version here of Bookmap. There's a lot of functionality that's still not on par, even in the core version with Thinkorswim. Right, so those are the big differences. So I hope that answers your question, Bill. And let's see, Uli. Okay, yeah, you want to look at higher time frames? Yeah. Okay, well, I have as much data in here from 4 a.m. today. All right, but let's just answer the question by looking at what we see in here right now in Bookmap, and then what we see in the higher time frame. So we're going to look at a higher time frame here. Okay, we'll look at candlesticks. This will be kind of a proxy. All right, because I don't have a whole lot of data in here in Bookmap. Okay, you can get more data in here, but I'll tell you that it gets quite heavy, and it's really not designed right now, at least, for looking at weeks of data in there. So we can look at a higher time frame candlestick chart here. We have a daily on the left, an hourly in the center, and a 15-minute on the right. Okay, well, what's a higher time frame in here telling us? Well, let's look at the daily. Well, I see a lot of selling up in here. Okay, I see wicks. Okay, now it's actually still quite bullish here, to be honest. Not quite bullish. It's a pullback, and we may see it fail here, and then it's got to break this range though. And what I mean by a range in here, looking at the higher time frame, is, hold on, is see this big range here. Okay, it's still just bouncing around in there. Okay, where are the sellers? Look at the wicks. Where are the buyers? Look at the wicks. Where is price? It's right in the middle. Okay, so we don't have too much clarity on the daily. We're just looking at the it right in the middle here, right? We know there's buyers and sellers on each side, and price is really smack dab in the middle there. What about the hourly? Well, this looks pretty good. Here we can go through the same analysis. Look at this. Okay, consolidation. Look at the breakout. Look at the pullback. Okay, so this is a bullish pullback even. Okay, we'd look for a pullback to where it broke from here. Okay, it didn't. It actually pulled back a bit higher here, and then we found buyers. Okay, we see wicks. We see buyers. Where are the sellers? They're up here. Okay, so where is price right now? It's coming back up and retesting this area here. Now this is not a bad area to retest. Okay, we might have an opportunity here. Why? Because this is where the sellers broke down below these buyers in here. So there's kind of a range in here, right? And we're retesting that right now. Okay, so we'd look for maybe sellers in here. Maybe they can come in and come back down and test like down here or down here. Okay, that's one scenario to look at. Let's look at the 15-minute chart. Now this is, again, this is CPI data in here, and look at how volatile this is. But we're still going through the process. We're finding buyers, we're finding sellers. Okay, now if we see exhaustion up here, maybe it's back to point of control. Maybe this was a mean reversion trade back down in here, right back into the point of control. Okay, within this whole range in here, maybe this is the high volume node, the most traded level up here. Now, did price come up here, and do we see a lot of buyers, or does it exhaust? Okay, let's look at Bookmap. Okay, now if you see something up here, Uli, well, and you see a nice event in here, maybe you want to take a swing trade and you're looking for lower lows. Understood? Okay, and where might you take some profit? Well, you can take it some down here for the day, or maybe you want to hold for a swing trade down into here. Okay, that would be 4,100, the figures right here. You can see it says 4,100. Okay, and that's where it broke out from. Can't be much clearer than that. Look at the breakout from 4,100. So look for a retest if you see selling pressure come in. All right, now you're going to have to kind of look for another event down here. It's up to you. I mean, you can hold it for your swing trade. You have to, have your own kind of trading understanding, or your own trading strategy for your swing trades. Okay, do you not want to take some off here and just move your stop to break even at that point? Okay, great. Do you want to take some off here? I would on my swing trade, I'll tell you that. But then maybe you want to hold for, maybe it comes back down into here, these lows. Okay, and maybe it takes several days, maybe it takes a day, we don't know. All right, but anyway, that's a few ways of looking at it here. Another way, here, let's just get rid of all that. And you are looking for this retest back here and failure, and then sellers to come in. Maybe your swing trade's just down here to take some off. Okay, so that would be around 40.75. Well, let's look at here. 40.75 is this swing on the hourly down here. Okay, that's a 140 point move. All right, in the S&P. Okay, well, what if maybe you were looking for on the daily? Maybe it come down into here. What is that price range? Let's see here. It's still 40.60. All right, so that's a way to look at it. One way to look at it, Uli, on higher time frames. Now let's look at Bookmap. I mean, we're looking at the volatility in here, but if that is the case, then we're looking for exhaustion up here. And is this a high volume node? Actually, a high volume node for today is down here. This was not kind of reversion trade. Look at this profile though. It's not telling us much. There's volume all over the place. Hey, look at the price action. It's all over the place too. Okay, really big swings here. All right, so your mean reversion trade would actually be exhaustion up here and then a move back down to 41.25. All right, so Uli, I hope that answers some questions for you. And let's get back to YouTube. Looks like we've got some help here from Joachim. And which Bookmap add-on you guys find most helpful in trading stops and icebergs? Excellent. All right. Where did I leave off on the questions? Like a rubber band. Yep, Peter, there you go. Yeah, this is a great way to use this tool, I feel. That's what I've been finding, at least, playing around with it so far. This price change. Not bad, huh? I mean, in fact, like, maybe look at ATR as well. And then look for this kind of price change to kind of maybe match with it. But basically, you're looking for those extended moves, and you can read the price change if it's momentum here, and when it starts to exhaust, maybe an order flow. This is your rubber band kind of reversion trade. Okay, Uli, let's see if we get our sellers down here at 41.20 and then let's see if we can get the break back down to 25 and then continuation down to the lows. And I want to hop back over. I know I'm all over the place here today, guys. It's just too much coffee. But let's take a look at our crude. Okay, where did crude come to? It came back, it snapped back to our 79 level again. Okay, 79.50. Nope, didn't come close to it. Okay, that was earlier in the session. Okay, we were looking for that sell-off in crude. And yeah, we got it. Yep, spot gamma stuff could work well with this as well, Peter. Yep. If you guys with about the spot gamma stuff, come to the webinar with Doug Pless today at 1:30 p.m. East Coast time. And come to it's here in Discord as well as over in YouTube. Okay, he's going to go through spot gamma stuff and options, and he has an excellent strategy. Yeah, Stan, there's always a seller for buyer here in the markets. Absolutely. That's why we want to understand the momentum in here. I think this is going to be this will start answering your questions. So it's really about, are there more buyers than sellers though? I'm sorry. Let's look at it. It's this kind of like aggressive buying in here, right? That what's happening in here, like in a strong move like this here, is your, and right now as well. Okay, so look for it to trade back up to meet these sellers up here. Is what you'd be looking for. Okay, because that's where the most of the sellers are. So what this is exactly why, Stan, we have our Bookmap education and understand these markets. So let me show you where that is on our YouTube channel. Okay, here, go to YouTube, scroll down here. We have an educational course down here, bonus materials, Bookmap educational course. Click on the full playlist here, and you'll see 4 videos in here. Part 1 of the educational course. Let's watch
a
this.
bit of a skew.
Okay, and it's this information here that you want to understand. This is how the markets work. This is the market mechanics, okay, that makes the market move. Yes, there's a buyer for every seller. Okay, but let's just put it this way here. There's a couple of things to look at in this image here. Right here we see this is the current price here. There's 15 contracts. This is your order book over here, basically. Okay, this is your best offer, best bid, and these are transactions on the best bid and offer. And go through this and understand that if there are more sellers in here and they trade into all of these buyers in here at 15. Okay, so my question, Stan, is what happens then, or anybody, what happens if 16 market sell orders come in here? What happens here to current price? Price goes down a tick. Exactly, brother Chromatide. You know your stuff. Yeah, it takes all of this liquidity here, and it finds the next buyer down here. That's it. That's what makes the market move. Now there's something more in this image here that is being explained here, and maybe I have to. I don't know if this is going to work or not. You're gonna have to go. You're gonna have to go through it.
Okay, let's go through the example.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go through it. I'll put this into the chat actually from this point on. I think this will be helpful for you. All right, so I'm going to put this into YouTube and into Discord. All right, and watch this. You might have to go back a little bit, but watch this. Okay, it's not only about the aggressors. Okay, the book is skewed here. All of a sudden there is like I think the example here shows that there's a lot more supply here on the offer, and due to that supply in here, the market starts to sell off. Technically, this cannot move the market. Okay, but this is like a spoof in essence, but it's just showing more supply, and if there's not enough demand and we get sellers coming in here, they're going to trade through or they're going to trade lower. All right, technically, like I said, this cannot move the market, but it surely can affect the market, and that's what we want to get insight from. All right, so I hope that answers your question. Yeah, watch. I would suggest watching that that video. Okay, that market mechanics course there, at least part 1. Okay, that should answer the question very well for you. Once you have an understanding of how markets work like this, it frees you up to understand any trading style. Really, let's just throw candlesticks on top here. Okay, let's look at candlestick patterns here. Perfect. I think this is a 1 minute candlestick chart. Okay, so here, look at this. Do we see sellers below? Yep, I'm seeing them, right? This is a blow off top then, okay? Looking for sellers to try to trade back down, but only to about here. Okay, because this is where we actually, let's see, we're actually getting a pullback here. Yeah, this is where you be really careful with your candlestick patterns. Okay, this is where you're looking for sellers, but look, they traded into, my bad guys, they traded into this demand in here, right? We want to see them pull, and we want to see more sellers come in. Okay, so this is a false breakdown here in your candlestick. This is where Bookmap can help you, because you see the demand come in here in the order book. Okay, now we traded back up here again, and we're not finding it. Now, are they here in the book now? No. Okay, all right, so we're getting a bit of a bump. I'm looking for a retest back down here at 33.5, and I'm looking for sellers to hit it back down into 32 or 31. Okay, so here's our wick up here. Okay, there's a wick on both sides here, right? And then now we have a kind of wick on both sides here as well. Okay, but what we're looking for in this scenario is not buyers up here. We're looking for sellers here, and then the move lower. Okay, and this, you wouldn't be in it right now. You wouldn't be in sell side here, but that would be the scenario. Now, there's some exhaustion. Looking for our sellers, and look for the sellers to trade it just down to here at 34. Okay, well, it made it down to 34.25. Okay, there are more sellers here. Come on, sellers, should be able to hit into that, and we should get the move down to 32 maybe here. Let's see. Okay, now there take some profit. Why? This is a range. This is the bottom of the range. You just traded it from up in here on down to here. Okay, it's a range bound trade in your candlesticks. Get out or take some profit. Stop at break even. Get stopped out at break even. You gave it a shot to run. Okay, does that make sense too? I mean, we're going over all sorts of things in here today. A lot of different trading styles. Correlations, ATR, extended ranges, volume profile, looking at momentum as well, candlestick patterns. Got another poll in here. Okay, which platform do you guys use on higher time frames? Or let's see, not higher time frames, alongside Bookmap. Yeah. PSC, Tom B is using his higher time frame software. He's using IRT. Okay, and then he's looking at Bookmap because he's a profile trader, and IRT is excellent for that. Yeah, Tom B is just, he's awesome. And then Noah, Doug really presents a masterclass in options. Absolutely. Absolutely. Guys, the quality of traders that we have in here are amazing. Tom B starts in 5 minutes. Jump over there. Okay, Stan. Yep. Yep. Glad to answer your question. Happy to help out here. Um, options transactions, no. Dale, like, yeah, we've been kind of playing around with that a little bit. I actually have seen other users input options into Bookmap. It was kind of hard to read because you're talking like only one strike price, and the option volume is pretty thin. So I would just recommend going with the underline and look at the order flow, uh, and then looking at your option chains. Yeah, Stan, I'm not like you should add investor RT and thinkorswim. I'm not much of a profile trader. I like profile, but what I really like in Bookmap is the showing the vertical in here, because the profiles, like, I just think that this is all mashed together here, and it's just showing an aggregate view, no different than showing an aggregate view in a candle. The candle showing it vertically, the profile is showing it horizontally. I want to see the relationship between buyers coming in like this and sellers coming in right back down into these areas here. Look at this. Here's your sell-off. Okay, now this is pretty strong move here. Okay, and we're still in momentum here. Look at this thing ping. So we're looking for maybe 41.20. Okay, now it's starting to exhaust out a little bit. All right, well, there we go. Let's look for a pullback to about here. Okay, maybe 28, maybe 30. Okay, now we're looking for exhaustion here. We're not getting it. We're not getting it. So it's still got some momentum to it. Oh, okay, that was for the poll. All right. Um, got you. Stan. JTT definitely comes to the options channel. Yeah, it's really good stuff. And then, hey, listen, Tom B, and we got a premier volume profile trader. It starts in like 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Okay, so I've got to end this webinar. In fact, guys, if you like this video, please hit the like button. This is really what helps us continue on with this kind of education. We're answering your questions about order flow and how to integrate it within multiple ways of trading here. Once you start to understand the order flow and how these markets work, the market mechanics in here, that's where you're going to really start to understand things. Like, what's the volume behind this candle right in here? Okay, what about this wick? Where's the volume? Well, it's still transacted down here. I don't like that, right? Now, if we get sellers here, look for them to come right down to 20. Okay, now what if we get, though, exhaustion here? What if we don't see sellers here? Okay, what if we see a bunch of buying, like maybe a little bit higher here? Okay, well, then that's our double bottom pattern here. Okay, well, we saw sellers here instead. We never really saw much buying. So there's our move. Okay, I know that's a bit of hindsight in there, but you guys get the idea. Now looking for, again, exhaustion in here on looking for, let's go through it here, and then we'll got to end the webinar. We got demand here getting filled on the bid again. We've got the price change still showing here. We're looking for buyers now, and we're looking for this to stop pinging and maybe start to change a bit, and then we'd be looking for a pullback right to here, maybe 22, and maybe higher, maybe up here 25. All right, guys, yeah, hit the like button. I gotta go. Thanks for coming, everybody. Tom B is next. Go and enjoy, and then options with Doug right after that, and then the Algo boys are right after that. Okay, they're over in Discord at the in the Algo Boys room there. Thanks for coming, everybody. We'll catch up tomorrow with J Trader.